Well, the 2010 Winter Olympic Games are getting ever closer, and tourism operators are hoping they go for the gold. It's been a big year for change in the tourism industry in BC, with the government dismantling Tourism British Columbia and rolling it back into the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts. Now, some in that industry say it was a personal decision by Premier Gordon Campbell, who was unhappy at how Tourism BC was being run. Before he set off for the climate change conference in Copenhagen this week, the Premier sat down with A News legislature reporter Shachi Kurl to talk about some of the issues of 2009, including what happened to Tourism BC.
I don't make personal decisions in public life. You make the best decisions you can for the public. So what we have is we're investing literally, and have invested literally hundreds of millions of dollars of building the tourism infrastructure in British Columbia. It's a huge industry for us. So it's important, I think, that you align your resources, right? Whether it's all public sector resources are properly aligned to maximize the benefits. And you know, when you go through a shift like we've gone through economically, it's always interesting to me that people think that others should change, but we shouldn't. Well, we all have to be willing to change as we go through these economically challenging times. And we have to make sure that as we do that, we're maximizing the benefits. So, for example, in tourism, we're trying to take full advantage of the opportunities the Olympic represents. There's a $39 million budget lift to make sure that happens. And frankly, the discussions that people have about what it is, we've actually been marketing supernatural British Columbia in BC for a long time to people outside of British Columbia. We also market the best place on earth in British Columbia, and the tourism industry themselves have said that the programs that we put in place that helped to generate that generated a lot of internal tourism in BC. But I know this, that what we call tourism revenues are directly linked to the strength of the overall economy. And the strength of the overall economy is directly linked to government making sure they maximize the use of the resources we've got for the benefit of everyone. And that's all we're trying to do.
How is the folding of Tourism BC back into the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts? Where are we going to see the efficiencies? How is this government going to do it better than what Tourism BC was doing, given that it was the envy of many provinces as it operated?
Well, I think that what we'll see is we'll see significant savings in terms of administration. We'll see significant savings in terms of some of the salaries that we're paid in Tourism BC. But more importantly, we'll actually see the synergy that comes when we're all working together to a united plan. And I think that's what's really critically important. If we're going to double our tourism, and I think we're going to see significant improvements just this last week. You know, this government has been working for not quite a decade, but most of the time we've been elected, we've been working to have China be brought in as an approved destination status, which will be a huge benefit to our tourism industry. I think most people know that we were the government that was leading that. The government of Canada now, under Prime Minister Harper and Stockwell Day, have accomplished that and put that, have got that designation in place. That's a huge benefit to the tourism industry in British Columbia, as are the infrastructure improvements that we're making across the province for tourism.
The arts community came forward as well, and they're talking about the $5.2 billion contribution that comes to the economy through arts. Can these community groups that support and employ people in the arts see and look forward to some relief next year?
I think the arts is a great example of an area where we're trying to invest, we're trying to make the best decisions we can. We work with the Art Council. We've actually provided significant resources. The $150 million endowment that we provided for the arts is the largest single endowment for the arts in the history of the province. But you know, again, when you're facing the kind of revenue challenges that we face as we went through this summer, when you lose $2 billion, you've got to, unfortunately, make some pretty challenging decisions. And as the minister said at the time, we decided to take care of people that really needed the care for social supports. So we've tried to do those things as we've gone through. We're going to make decisions, it doesn't matter which sector of the economy you're in, where some people will like them and some people won't. I know it's been a particularly challenging time for the arts, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to build a constructive relationship as we go ahead.
Our conversation with the Premier continues tomorrow as we discuss the province's decision not to provide any money for the Johnson Street Bridge replacement in Victoria and provincial funding for sewage treatment in the Capital Region.